Only 13 points for the Huskers today as Nebraska goes down on the road at Northwestern, 21-13. The Wildcats move their record to 3-0. We got Chris Wall on the line from Husker Hype to break it down and let us know what happened to Nebraska on the road. Please like the video, comment below, share your thoughts on Nebraska football, the Big Ten, and the nation, and, of course, subscribe right here to Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Chris, despite the loss, how you doing today?
Hey, doing well. Thanks for having me on tonight, Mark.
Absolutely. Appreciate you coming on to break this down for everyone. The 13 points, obviously, if you didn't watch the game, and I saw just very, very little bit of it, but I've got it on the DVR, so we'll see if we check it out late night tonight. But the 13 points, obviously, are at the forefront in regards to the offensive issues. So what are your thoughts there? We see Luke McCaffrey and Adrian Martinez both got significant time at quarterback.
Yeah, definitely. Just the offense, just really, really disappointing today. It was rough in the red zone. I think they had 6 trips inside the 30 that they scored 1 touchdown on, and that was because of the interception that took them down to the 3. So I mean, besides that touchdown, the offense really didn't get in the end zone. So. Yeah, the offense was just really sputtering. It really couldn't find its rhythm. I think they still outgained Northwestern. I think like 125. I think they still outgained them by like 125 yards or something like that. But just the red zone was just terrible. Just really struggling to get into the end zone there. So you saw Luke at the end. It was really kind of, I think, surprising to a lot of people that he was not in the first half much. I know Frost said in his press conference after the game something to the sort of Northwestern was showing something that those plays wouldn't have worked. But it just feels like if you thought Luke was going to be a part of the game, that you would have at least given him a taste of it earlier on. Besides that, I think Wandale Robinson had 2 touches in the first half in the first drive of the game, and that just can't happen. So
yeah, so back to the quarterback situation. So Adrian Martinez, 12 of 27, buck 25, 1 pick. Luke McCaffrey comes in, hits 12 of 16 for 93 yards. So the way Frost broke it down after the game, it was apparently pre-planned that they would split time, or that Adrian was not getting the job done and they went with McCaffrey.
It seemed like they had some design plays for Luke in the first half that Northwestern was showing certain looks that made those plays and those looks not good decisions. What's worrisome and what's disappointing is when Northwestern's then showing those looks that Nebraska wasn't able to maybe go to, say, plan B and move the ball more effectively. So they ended up going to Luke towards the end, and I think that he did really well. You also have to know that Northwestern's then, towards the end of the game with a lead, they are playing back a little bit more. So he did complete more passes, but you kind of have to take that with a grain of salt. But I thought Luke threw the ball well. He was accurate. He was on time, and he was really decisive in the run. So I think that Luke will probably start next week versus Penn State.
Got Chris Wall on the line from Husker Hype, breaking down Nebraska's loss on the road to Northwestern, 21-13. The Wildcats now 3-0. The Huskers fall to 0-2. I would think that most Nebraska fans going into the game would have been pleased with 5.2 yards per carry on offense. So that was mostly Dedrick Mills. In regards to, you had made the comment the other night, you wanted to see him get more carries, which was 19. And Adrian Martinez gained quite a bit of yardage, 102 on the ground. I don't see Omar Manning in the box score. In addition to Wandale Robinson, obviously, he's the guy that Husker fans wanted to see.
Yeah. Martinez had a couple of really long runs towards the end of the game, a couple really nice scrambles. So that's kind of where a big chunk of that yardage came from. But Martinez did have a couple nice runs. Throwing the ball, though, is just he he had a couple that were just way off target, just not really giving the guy a chance. He threw an interception in the end zone. So just the passing game with Martinez is just really, really struggling. I remember one specific play. It was a third and 11, and Martinez dropped back in the pocket, had decent time to throw, but just stared an out route down and threw it for 4 yards. And you got to give somebody a chance downfield. I don't know who it is, but you got to give somebody a chance. Going back to Omar, I mean, I think they threw the ball at him one time. It didn't even hit his hands. That was off. But the hype around him this week was just so heavy that you thought at some point you would find a way to get him the ball or give him at least one downfield throw, one go route or something like that. And the ball didn't make it to his hands at all, which was really definitely disappointing. Everyone was really looking forward to seeing him. So hopefully they can find a way to get him more involved, because he definitely needs the ball along with a couple other guys, I believe.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Wan'Dale Robinson, only 4 catches for 32 yards, so he wasn't able to get downfield, similar to his stats against Ohio State, where there were no explosive plays to Wan'Dale Robinson. Defensively, taking on a Northwestern team that's less than explosive. So that said, Peyton Ramsey's still a very capable quarterback. Northwestern's capable themselves on offense, scored 43 against Maryland. So it appears as though I see 6 tackles for loss. Luke Reimer led the team with 10 tackles and a sack. That the defense had a decent day.
Yeah, the defense played well enough to win the game. Luke Reimer coming in, getting his first start today in place of Will Honus, who was a little banged up. Luke Reimer, though, man, he was all over the place, just especially in the first half, making great plays. Obviously, a really big day for him. That was positive. I thought the linebackers as a group played really well. I thought Jojo Doman had a pretty good game. Nick Heinrich had a pretty good game. Like I said, the linebackers in general and the whole defense held them in check pretty consistently. But there were too many. I haven't gone back and counted it. I want to say there were at least maybe 5 third and 5 plus downs, third and 5s, third and 11s, third and 8s that Nebraska just couldn't get off the field. And those drives don't necessarily end in points, but Northwestern was really able to flip the field well today when they did punt. They had some really nice punts, and we ended up, I don't know how many times we punted, I think maybe 4 or 5, but I saw a stat that our net punt was 27 yards, which is just, I mean, that's not doing anything. So, but overall, defense, I thought they played well. Miles Farmer coming in for Deontay Williams, who was out for the targeting call previous week. Miles Farmer had 2 interceptions, huge, big momentum shifting. So young secondary, I thought they stepped up and played well enough to win the game.
I'd like to remind everyone that we go live each and every Thursday night at 6 o'clock Eastern time. That's 5 o'clock Central with Chris, other contributors. It's been the last 2 weeks. Greg Peterson of Husker Online to talk Nebraska football. Full live stream, take comments, questions there. So again, Thursday nights at 6 o'clock Eastern time, 5 o'clock Central for Nebraska Live here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Yeah, so that was obviously disappointing considering what you guys forecasted the other day in regards to your thoughts about Nebraska pulling out the first win of the season. So I'm going to ask you one last question here in regards to progress for the future in the next game coming up. I'll have to look that up and let you know that offhand who Nebraska plays next.
Oh, they played Penn State. And Penn State's 0-3, and they lost to Maryland. They lost to Maryland tonight.
Yeah, very surprising score. Penn State, almost a 4-touchdown favorite, has fallen off the cliff apparently at 0-3. So if you could pinpoint one thing, there's obviously a number of issues with the team through 2 games, but what would be the one thing that you would like to see a big advancement in going into Penn State?
It's got to be, I think they've got to get a little bit more creative. I think they are at the point in the season now with this loss specifically where it's almost a nothing to lose situation. I think you dig into your playbook, you run tempo if that's what you want to try and do. You throw it downfield and you take some chances. I think you need to get the ball to some of those young wide receivers and just give them a shot. Because you want those guys here next year, and if you want them here next year, you got to get them the ball now. I feel like, and give them a shot to prove themselves. I think Nebraska's been plagued with attrition over the past years in those playmaker positions because guys are just leaving. So I think they need to spread the ball out a little bit more, get the ball to those playmakers in space, and just see what they can do. Kind of the no fear mentality that Frost always preaches, especially going into this week. Penn State's 0-3, Nebraska's 0-2. Something's got to give. So it'll be nice to see him back in Lincoln.
Not surprisingly, as we mentioned the other night, Blake Gallagher and Patty Fisher, the two top tacklers for Northwestern, were the two top tacklers against Nebraska. 24 total tackles out of those two guys. Northwestern beats Nebraska 21-13. Huskers have Penn State coming up next. Chris Wall, Husker Hype. Join him on Twitter, Husker Hype, and you can join him right there. Chris, we appreciate you stopping by, and we will see you this week.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Mark. I'll see you soon.